This is Nellie, and welcome. Welcome to the final day of the Moodle Moot. This is Nellie Dor. Jason, I'd like to first of all introduce you to an offer that WizIQ is making, and that's a free membership. You will find this in the conference course area. So you may want to know about that if you're interested in learning teach at a school or you don't have an email. A little bit about our presenters. I want to thank over and over again for volunteering to present. And now to our current speaker. Okay, so let me just I think it's this one? Yes. All right. So is Jason in the house? Yes, very good. All right, a little bit about Jason. Jason is everything that is not written here and more. Jason has had 15 years of experience in English language training or English language teaching as a teacher, teacher training, and materials writer. He created Call Learn, an approach to English language learning that is very unique and based on songs that he writes and raps and performs as Fluency MC. MC is Master of Ceremony. Jason is an ambassador and knowledge entertainer at WizIQ.com, where he trains English language teachers in virtual classrooms such as this one. He also teaches in the MA TESOL program at the New School in New York City. And he writes songs and chants for several publishers, including Oxford University Press. He is the chair-elect of the TESOL Interest Group Video and Digital Media and works as an English specialist for the United States Department of State. After earning his MA in TESOL from Hunter College in 1999, Jace taught at several schools before becoming the Director of Curriculum Development for Embassy CES. In 2002, he co-founded the TEFL Preparation School for International Students in Manhattan. Online, Jace maintains the Call Learn YouTube channel, and all you have to do is simply Google Jason R. Levine or Mr. Fluency MC. He's also on Facebook. He teaches the world. Jace. He's an active administrator of over a dozen Facebook groups. He has special rights because not everybody can be an administrator of so many Facebook groups for English language teachers and learners, including how to improve your English. All things EFL, ESL, TESOL, and innovative teachers of English. So it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce you to the one and only dear friend of mine, Jason R. Levine. And here he is. My
Glad you added.
and I'm not kidding. I miss you, Jason. Jason and I met, I don't know when, probably last year at some time, and it was great to have this incredible, caring human
Hug
being
you now, Dr. Nelly.
here listening to all this. But I can't wait to meet again. Thank you.
Same here. Yeah. I'm glad you added good friend because you certainly are. And not only is Dr. Nelly a good friend, she is also an amazing mentor for me in so many different levels. And among the many things she has taught me, she has taught me how to use technology in a way that is very much engaging online, where I was doing that in Facebook, but there's some limits to what we can do there. So she's helped bring me into this brave new world that is actually, in many ways, I'm finding even more of a way to connect than on the ground. There's a lot to do in the cloud with like-minded folks and folks that normally would not have the opportunity to connect with one another and with teachers. So it's an incredible feeling. The only disadvantage I find is it's harder and harder to be in a physical classroom and feel any kind of that energy, just because I feel, God, I wish I could get out of here and get back to the hundreds, the thousands of teachers and learners. So that's a pretty good segue into this slide here. A massive journey with English teachers worldwide. I felt I was on this journey, but in a way that was not so organized, meaning Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so forth. And always, well, not always, but for a while now, have thought, wouldn't it be great to do a MOOC, a massive online open course? And I conceived of one with ideas and help from different people, and especially as we got started, as many of you, if you're here and you've been participating in this MOOC, which I'm here today to talk about, you know that we began with not a lot of things firmly in place, and that was on purpose. That was so we could learn from each other, and I could learn from you what would work and what would not work. So it was a little rough in the beginning, but I feel rough in a good way, as now we know a lot more about what has worked and not worked. And this is not the end. This is just the beginning. We are going to do more of these now that this one was a success, and we have some just amazing things to share with you today. And I say we because I can't talk about this without saying we at every moment that we're talking about this MOOC. So, a massive journey with English teachers worldwide. I'm one of those English teachers. I also happen to be the leader of this MOOC that I named English Language Teaching Techniques, or ELTT. And the idea behind the name is to, number one, focus not on methodology and so much in the sense or history of ELT or any big ideas in ELT. Those are very important, but I wanted to have something where we could really get some scaffolding going in the best way. So if we did something that was, too, ELT 101, the first time we ever talk about, pair work or communicative language teaching, that wouldn't work for everybody. On the other hand, if we did something very advanced about methodology or theory, then that would leave some people behind. Moreover, that's not really the most practical thing to do for us all anyway. What we all need, including myself, we need more ideas for what to do in the classroom as English language teachers, and techniques seem to be a great word for that. And that goes right to my interest in materials design. So it's techniques, including materials that you bring in. That's part of the technique and how you use those materials. The second reason for this name is because my idea was to not have only one ELT techniques and do it again and again, but to have different topics. And our first topic was vocabulary. And I thought it was on this slide. Maybe it's coming up. But anyway, vocabulary was our topic. So all of our presenters, of whom we had 13, prepared classes. Each did one class apiece. I did 3, and focused on techniques to use in the classroom to teach vocabulary. And we did that often with our own materials, because I invited people that have done really great stuff, and especially connected in social media spaces, to experiment with it, get ideas from students and teachers, because I knew that they would really respond well to this type of MOOC. So I'm going to explain what kind of MOOC this is, because there are different types of MOOCs in a moment, and give you information about what happened, what worked, what didn't work on this journey. So we had, at last count, although there's still people joining, even though we officially ended our class program on Friday the 23rd, we are still going, and I'll get to that. We have 2,451 participants from dozens of countries. I don't know if anyone has kept count. I was about to do that today, and I didn't, but it's a lot. And it's really wonderful how diverse the representation is, and also how many of those participants are active. And I don't have a perfect count on that either, but I can tell you some statistics today as we go forward here that will impress you, I hope. They impress me, especially as this is the first time we've ever done something like this. And I mean an English language teaching MOOC for teachers, by teachers, on this scale. So very, very active participation this last month. 13 presenters, as I mentioned, 18 facilitators. I'm going to introduce both the presenters and facilitators to you, because part of why I want to do this is to make sure we give them credit, because they've done such an incredible job. Someone the first week, in fact, it was before we started the MOOC officially. So we had a couple weeks of promoting it and getting people to register, and someone during that time, I have his name somewhere, he wrote a wonderful comment. There are so many amazing comments people have written in emails to me and other teachers and in the course feed, but one of the most memorable for all of us is someone said before we even started, because the course feed was so active, people were meeting and greeting and connecting and talking. Someone said, this is a festival of learning, or this is a festival of English language teaching. And I just love that, because that's what a good MOOC is all about, and what good teaching and learning is all about. I think we agree. It doesn't matter what theory you subscribe to or anything. We know that when we are engaged, when it feels like fun, when we're enjoying, we learn more, and we feel more confident, and that helps us learn more, and so on and so forth, and be more motivated. And the intrinsic motivation, I'm just doing this because it's fun, I'm doing this because I love learning English and I love teaching English, was everywhere in this MOOC. And put me down on record by saying that that's the only way these MOOCs are going to work, which happily so, because why should they work if we're not enjoying it, if we're not doing it out of the intrinsic motivation of wanting to learn more and build knowledge and enjoy and have fun and socialize with one another. So that's what it's been, a festival of meeting, connecting, and sharing to further our professional development. So it's CPD, but even that acronym sounds so, dry and dusty, right? We are continuing professional development, but it's a festival. It's a festival. It truly is. But big festivals can be overwhelming. So this is something that I noticed by watching other MOOCs, and I was wary of beginning this MOOC. And it's one of the reasons why I was concerned about not having things so structured, because maybe it would just be too out of control. On the other hand, I was willing to take that risk because the other option of structuring everything meant that if we structured it and we mandated it and it wasn't working and wasn't good, it would be harder to get out of it. So there was a lot at the beginning throughout talking to one another more like we're on Facebook, like we're in just a social media space, because that's what a lot of the teachers were used to, and that's what works, doesn't it? To learn in a social space, that's the whole future. So, from there, we were able, once we trusted each other and we could communicate, then, people weren't shy to say or ask, what do I do here? How do we do this? Oh, we're changing this, we're changing that. And I appreciate the patience that I had so much from the participants, the facilitators, and the presenters. And some people are we're all in all those groups in a way, although presenters, that's a sort of separate group. But anyway, I wrote down some thoughts here that I shared with everyone at the beginning, and it's worth looking at them again. Online learning is new to many of us, English language teachers. Participating in a MOOC is new to most of us. I never participated in one, or just very slightly kind of as an observer, but not this. This was my first really connectivist MOOC that I participated in. And then all of us, this was the first one, it's this historic thing we should all be proud of, everyone that was involved, because not only did we do it, but we really, I think, did a great job and had so much fun, and now we're ready to do another one, which I will also talk about today. The key to our success, working together, being flexible, and staying connected. And this is there's a lot here. This, of course, is available to you. This is the PowerPoint, that is, so don't need to go through this. I'll just talk a little bit about it while you can either read it or just listen to me. But this is a summary of what it was that we did. You can also see something similar on and I'll put it in the chat here. Let me give you the link to the About Course page, where you can also join, by the way. We are not... I'll put it in a couple times here, so if you want to check out the course and you can join and get all the materials that are there, they are going to remain there. Great thing about a cloud. And yeah, so just focusing a little bit on the highlighted things, right? We already talked about some of them. We had classes, which I'll go into detail about. Collaborative work by participants, and social engagement around the content that we had from the classes before, during, and after. And we did that in the form of pre-assignments and post-assignments. I'm just mentioning that now. I'll talk about that more in a moment. It's hard to make a course in education where you're really meeting the needs of everyone in terms of the levels of learners, the focus of the subject. It's English language learning, but wow, that's a big one as far as learners' goals and needs, different curricula, adults, children, public, private. Again, back to techniques. So the idea is, what can we do that's going to, in a Venn diagram, how can we get, how can we reach the most people and meet their needs and interests as teachers? So we didn't do a perfect job with that, but going forward, we'll have other MOOCs, and I think most people who did it, I feel, got something out of it. We certainly got that kind of positive feedback from everyone, just continually, throughout the MOOC, and now that it's finished, I'm getting a lot of really wonderful email from people, and with suggestions for how to improve it also, which is very important. And not needing to know technology beyond using the internet, going to WizIQ. We did some things with Facebook, but we tried to keep it very simple because that is not, the goal was not to, we certainly didn't want any obstacles in anyone's way, needing technology to participate. But also, we're talking about, in general, English language teaching on the ground in physical classrooms, not exclusively, but since that's still the majority of our teachers, what they're doing, we're using technology as a means to learn more about how to do that. We're not trying to learn how to use technology to teach with, but that is something along the way, similar to a lot of teachers who are not native speakers picking up English along the way and improving their English. Picking up technology along the way is a really important idea. Not to sit down and learn this program. Usually raises our stress level, doesn't it? So it's similar to me as learning, improving your language development if you're a non-native speaker, of which we had many, majority, which is really exciting to have a MOOC like this. And learning technology, I feel, is, you do it on the way when you're not as stressed about it and you have the support of everyone around you, and it works much better that way. We have great facilitators. I'll talk about it in a moment. And I'll just focus on one thing, which is important, and I think it has worked well, although there have been some little bumps in the road. Participants should attend or watch at least 4 classes and do the accompanying assignments in order to receive a certificate of completion. So as long as you do 4 classes, whether you go live or you watch the recordings and you submit the assignment, assignments could be, done if you don't have so much time, not so long, as long as they're thought out well and they answer the questions. That's enough. Some people going to great lengths to spend time to do much more, which is fabulous. So, depending on level of experience, depending on time, we wanted something that would work for everyone. The more you do, the more you get out of it, kind of thing. The presenting option. I'm going to use this as a way to announce, and yes, Dr. Nelly is our certificate. Dr. Nelly and Sylvia, who's also here, I see, helped so much to make this MOOC happen and a success. And they have many different roles, as do I. And Nelly is going to be helping us with the certificates. Presenting work, we are going to, the week after next, offer the chance to participants, if they would like, to go in WizIQ to do what the presenters do. We have facilitators who are going to be presenters soon, that's for sure. And we have participants who could definitely be facilitators, and some of them could also be presenters. So is that what it's all about or what, right? So, someone remarked in another session that MOOCs are poor or have a poor track record of scaffolding. And I totally agree with that, just like MOOCs in general have a poor track record, period, as far as I'm concerned. A connectedness MOOC, whether you call it a C MOOC or a social MOOC or whatever you want to call it, it happens naturally if it works, right? The way you see scaffolding on Facebook, all you do is go to Facebook, which is where all the ideas I had and Sylvia had for how to engage people. It just, the scaffolding comes. Someone puts up a comment with a question, someone who knows more comes in, and it's just like that with a connectedness MOOC. The presenting of the work is a great opportunity that we're going to do week after next. Optional for students who would like to do it, participants. This is a screenshot taken by Vanessa Pires. I've seen this picture in my head even before I saw it here. I think there are several pictures similar to this. This is classic Sylvia, guy in here, and these are quotes from her. And Dr. Nelly, is it pimples? Yes, it's a commercial for Oxy 10 or whatever. Yeah, not that kind of connectivity. Anyway, these are some wonderful, if you know Sylvia, she's a great writer. She was very, very involved in this MOOC. She wrote in her blogs, and I'll give you the links to that. Also, as global teachers around the world, we are knitting a new dream together. Love that. The beauty of our presenter facilitator global collaboration is the respect, synergy, and inspiration that is driving this bold initiative. Now, it's hard to pick quotes from this woman because she has so many. These are from her blogs. One thing I must stress is that we have an entirely new slant. Our MOOC is for teachers, by teachers, and we are open about experimenting. We are teachers trying to make sense of technology for teachers. So, some words of wisdom and reflection from Sylvia. And you can see the chat box on fire over here. We had unbelievable attendance. We had between 70 and 100 people consistently. We had the chat box was always aflame, going so quickly. It's great stuff. Really, really great stuff. We had 13 presenters. I taught 3 classes. The other presenters taught 1 each. We may change this a little bit, but it worked overall. I think it really worked out well. Really worked out well. I want to just shine the spotlight on these individuals because they are just incredible people, all of them. All of them did a fantastic job, and all of them went the extra mile in different ways depending on their schedule. Some of them just can't do too much, period. But all of them really worked to afterwards reach out, connect with students, discussing their assignments with them, answering their questions. Sylvia created Facebook groups for each class, which has worked. We have an idea for some other ways to get presenters, facilitators, and participants to connect more in the next MOOC. A couple different ideas we have, maybe some blogging in a environment that's closed to the group. So lots of really great stuff that we have in mind for the future. So Drew Badger, who's American from Chicago in Japan. Dr. Crystal Brody, who's I guess you're from Germany, I believe, right? And you're in Kentucky. Mal Buchler, who's in Brazil. Dr. Nellie Deutsch, who's in Canada. And I almost put the globe. She's really global. It was going to be globe. I should have kept globe in there. We have MIB, who I don't think is here today. Is she here? MIB, are you in the house? She said she might be here. Is she guest user? Is that her? Anyway, we have Maria Inés Rumana Espinosa from Argentina. Adir Ferreira from Brazil. Great book. Almost everyone here is a Maria. Almost everybody here is a vocabulary head, and a lot of them are into chunking and collocations. Not exclusively, obviously, and I'm not either, but, I really went for people that really got into vocabulary. And for the next MOOC, we have a different topic. Some of these people I hope will come back, and I have other people in mind for our new topic, which I will wait to tell you at the very end, so you stay to hear about that. We have Charles Gujar, he's in Italy and in the UK. Sylvia, who most of you know, is in Greece. Vicky Hallett, who I think is here. Vicky, are you still here? Vicky is in Philadelphia in the U.S. I'm in the U.S. I'll be going to Paris, by the way, in a week, and I'll be going back and forth between Paris and New York and New Jersey. Michael Marzio, who's an American from New Jersey, but in France. And Shanti, who is in London. And Andrew Weiler, who's in Australia. I don't know what happened to Australia. I had it there, so somehow I deleted it. Andrew is in Australia, so he was very patient with us in terms of the time zones. Turgai is here. I know, Turgai, you had some problems. Turgai, don't worry. The next MOOC, you're going to be facilitating like crazy, so get ready. Guest user, I believe, Dr. Nelly, is Maria Ines, MIB. We have these beautiful little, I'm not as good as Nelly at putting things together like pictures, but, I did my best. These were all made by the WizIQ team to post, to share the presentations. Oh, thank you, Dr. Nelly. I love these. I love how the hair, I think some of us were surprised when we saw them in terms of how the shape of our head and our hair looked. But anyway, and it's maybe sort of hard to read them. You can see some of them. These are just quotes, and these were These were on Facebook and Google Plus and other places to introduce each presenter. So you can check that out later. For the first time, Dr. Nelly? Oh, I posted it on your page and all that. That's because you're running around even more than I run around. Facilitators have pictures coming up too. You know, I've got to thank the presenters, right? Presenters are presenters, and they, you know, taught us all the way that, you know, participants feel like the presenter is like, oh my God. That's how I feel about the facilitators. So, you know, no offense to the presenters. We had this is my favorite part of the MOOC. Okay, and really, this is the Facebook thing, and I don't care about Facebook as a company so much as, you know, Facebook is, you know, hands down for international communication and socializing around content for English. You know, there's nothing like it, and it's on Facebook where I met people. You see here, presenters too, but especially facilitators. And I look to see, and this is one thing I want to share because it's really important part of why this worked. And that is that, you know, I went to people for very simple reason. Not reason, but, you know, the criteria was simple. Is it someone who obviously enjoys, you know, sharing and connecting about English language teaching? Is it somebody who you know, knows how to do scaffolding, who knows, you know, when to get in to help somebody up, or, you know, gets advice from other people and builds themselves up, and somebody who's active, you know, people who are on Facebook a lot, maybe a slight addiction problem, but an addiction in a positive way as far as I'm concerned. You know, you're not playing Mafia Wars or some stupid, you know, Farmville, you know, you're addicted to the content curation, the sharing, and if you know some of these people on this list, you know why I went to them. A few of them couldn't do it. Turgay is listed here, as he said, he couldn't really do it. I knew that would happen, and that's fine. Some people, you know, did more work because they had more time, and that's the same for the participants. You know, some people, you know, I always said do 4 assignments. Some people have done 7 assignments. You know, 9 assignments. Someone did, I think. Someone almost has all 13 of them done now, or is planning to. So same with facilitators. So I'm happy to have these people help the different ways that they did. And I'm so excited, and for the next MOOC, I hope some of them return. They are all invited back, and I have some other people in mind to help us facilitate in the next MOOC. Here's a picture of some of our facilitators. Leo JC from Brazil put these together, and that's a great example of spontaneous, you know, creation of content, which is, you know, why the idea of MOOCs has always been so appealing to me. You know, you get so many people together that are energized and have different skills and talents. They're just going to do things. You know, I didn't say, hey, Leo, can you make something like this? You know, assigning, MAP is in the house. Assigning roles in that sense. You know, oh, you should make this and you should do that. So it's more about finding out, you know, sort of the unfolding of, you know, what people can do as we go through. And this way, the next time, we can be like, hey, you know, Leo, remember when you did that? Could you do that again? And, oh, you were really good at that, so could you do this? So that's what's was really great about this first MOOC, is getting a sense of that so we can make the next one even better. And this is one of the things I like saying. Maria, you're really confusing everybody today with your guest user thing. Don't do that again. No, just kidding. It's about how far you reach when you teach. This is one of the things I've been saying. MOOCs have gotten me very excited, especially, you know, people complain about the bad MOOCs, the X-MOOCs. I love all those bad MOOCs because it's just showing us what doesn't work so we can try to make it work, right? If the bad MOOCs were succeeding, then I'd be scared, right? So if they're not succeeding because they're not social enough, because they're not fun enough, because, you know, they're too stressful or boring, then, hey, we got to make them the opposite of all of that. So the most exciting thing, I think all of us probably agree on here, besides the professional development, is the ability to reach out and reach so many more people. And I think some people who did the MOOC as participants were surprised by how much they were teaching other people. You know, they were excited about how much they were learning, but they were also doing so much teaching. And that's just, you know, priceless stuff. What I did was to show you just very simply what we did during the MOOC. And instead of writing all the details here, I just want to talk about it a little bit. I am, you know, at the end here of the presentation, I wanted to make sure that I had at least 15 minutes, because I'm one of those people that goes over to take questions. So this is the last slide, and I just want to talk about what we did. So if you don't know, if you weren't a participant and you're interested possibly in doing it with us, or you have nothing to do with English language teaching, but you're interested in the idea of how a MOOC works, I'll share with you what we did. Each presenter, so let's say it's me, I'll just take myself, creates a pre-class assignment. I'm changing it to pre-class task because it's shorter, but we call it the pre-class assignment. But anyway, something that connects to the class, something that will, number one, and I didn't dictate this to presenters, like you have to do it this way, but I, you know, suggested, encouraged them to think about some tasks that would be, you know, fun, easy to understand, so students would get in on the class page to post their answers and comment and provide feedback to their colleagues there to try to get something going. And some questions that, you know, might, not might, but should connect to the content of the class in a way that when they're taking it, when they're in the class, it's easier to engage them and it's easier for them to understand what you're doing. So a little bit of the flipped classroom idea, so that people are getting in there and can really share and talk about things as opposed to, you know, taking notes and writing things down. That part really worked. It really worked, I gotta say. So some small things, not to change as much as better ways to enhance the communication, possibly where we'll meet to do things. WizIQ, absolutely the best place to do this for the MOOC, but there may be some other places to go to do some other enhancement activities to socialize. So thinking about that now. And finally, the pre-class task is an opportunity. This is a different thing, but an opportunity for the presenters to lead participants to their websites and their content. They don't have to, but the presenters in general that we had on this MOOC were also content creators. Some of them, that's their main thing, so it's really important for them to drive traffic to their stuff and to engage with people about what they make. So a lot of people who make videos, but not just videos, songs, stories, and if it's not their own content, it's their own approach or technique with it. So that's a really important thing for me going forward, to recruit presenters. Wow, you know, this many people can come check out my stuff. Yeah, and then of course the participants look at it like, wow, we get to check out this stuff that we didn't know about. So that's a real win-win. And then on top of that, there's this opportunity for the presenters to engage about their content at a level that you don't usually get on Facebook, although it's possible, but certainly not with these assignments and getting feedback and all of the colleagues involved at once, which is only possible really in a MOOC. Then to attend the class live, if possible, time zone if it's a problem, or just schedule in general, or connectivity issue, we have recordings. WizIQ makes really great recordings. If there is a problem with the recording, Sylvia and Nellie, especially Nellie at first, and then Nellie had other things to do, so Sylvia took over, made videos on YouTube, recorded them, so we tried to give that option as well. If people were having trouble with the recording at some point, we had the YouTube video as another option. During the class, chatting in the chat box, no mics, although for the presentations we might experiment a little bit. Lots of people coming to the class, as I said, many more watching the recordings after than attending live. Engaging in discussion in WizIQ or on Facebook. So talking about the class afterwards, hugely important. That continued on the class page where the pre-class task was posted, and also in these Facebook groups that we created, and presenters going to the class page to chat and going to the Facebook groups also to talk with the participants. Facilitators, by the way, had lots of different roles, and which is great because different personalities, different strengths, different levels of English, different levels of experience teaching. And as I said, I really use this MOOC to see which facilitators would be happiest and be most effective in different roles. So just to tell you a few things about what facilitators did in the class, they were doing trying to keep the chat going, helping out there in different ways. Participants also doing facilitation work as well, but facilitators with the expressed aim to do that in the class. Same thing in the course feed, the general feed, chatting and helping, answering questions, and in the pre-class tasks, and in really every forum that we used, right? Facilitators were encouraged to help out and did wonderfully. Post-class task is the main thing as far as what we're tracking to award the certificate. This is what we're going to give feedback. Some students have received feedback from certain presenters, not from me. I'm trying to make sure I keep track of who has submitted everything, but they will also get feedback from me with the help of facilitators who have done lots of evaluations already. And just to mention some of the people who have done that, Ahmed has done tons of them. He might be number one. MAP and Ahmed are sort of competing. Chauki has done a lot of them also, as has Vanessa and Anissa and Rosalie and Rosanna and Yuki, and who am I leaving out here? Rebecca's about to do a bunch. I'm about to just overload Rebecca. MIB, Maria Ines, I can't leave out. She's been doing all of the ones for herself. Is there a competition? So it's just been, some people have done no evaluations, facilitators, because they don't have time. Anyway, that's fine. So everyone's helping out in different ways. And the post-class tasks in general have been, more free. So you've seen this class with this presenter, and they're written by the presenters themselves, these tasks, not by me. But the idea that I suggested to the presenters, some activity where the teachers on the MOOC, the participants, need to create an activity that is really engaging for their students, that puts into practice some of the things that were talked about in the class. So that's the basic idea. And some really amazing stuff. And I strongly encourage you to check out the presentations that we'll be doing the week after next. Like I said, it's optional. So some people probably really raring to do it, get in there. Some people would be great if they could just not be so nervous. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of those. And I'll be there, of course. And some of our facilitators, if they have time, will be there, I'm sure, for the presentations. Oh, we have another slide here. Oh, good. We're not done. Almost done. 5 minutes, I promise. This is a quick slide. This is just, I put this on Facebook to say, you know, if you can't find me on Facebook, I'm out to MOOC. And my son was saying, wait, that doesn't make any sense, out to MOOC. You should have it hanging over there. Why are you in the picture if you're out to MOOC? And I said, because if I put it on the computer and I'm not there, where would I be? I'm out to MOOC. It means I'm on the computer. Yeah, I was a little tired. But this is another one of the things I like to say. In 2013, online learning is no fluke. Tear the doors off the classrooms, make way for the MOOC. I used to say this way before I thought of how to do a MOOC. I just knew in the future this is what we're going to be doing. You know, and that the teachers who are most passionate, who are most interesting, who are most engaging, and who work best with other teachers and students, they're going to be the ones leading the way. I want to get involved in that. These are some of the quotes that I pulled from the course feed, from emails I got. I have so many of them, and I wish, like I often do, and maybe you've had this experience with emails. I wish when I got the email, I just copied it and put it somewhere, right? So I didn't do that. So I'm going through everything. There are others that are even more moving, but anyway, this is not a competition either. There's some really great stuff here, and I want to just highlight a few of them that I like a lot. One of them, I like how two of them here that I included, there were several that talked about how, I can't believe I spent my summer vacation taking a course, right? But saying it in the best possible way. And Sylvia knows, I see there are so many comments coming in. I mean, let me say, I'm glad I remembered to say this, that when I mentioned the pre-class task, where there's on the class page, people are posting, those pre-class tasks, you know, we've had, I counted, you know, over 100 people responding, and that's just their answers, and then people responding to each other. So I said I'd give you some statistics. I'm going to really look at the data. I'm going to get some facilitators to help me too. I have for my class, my post-class assignment for my first class on collocations, I have over 200 of them submitted. You know, over 200 post-class assignments and more coming in. You know, so you know we're looking at numbers, you know, 10% and higher for stuff. The completion rate, you know, it's going to be really good. It's going to be something that you haven't seen before. Because I said, you know, over 200 people have submitted that, but then, you know, you have to consider there are 13 of them and you only need to do 4. So you're going to see some really, really great data coming out of this. But anyway, for now, I also wanted to just highlight a couple things here. I love it. Was such an innovative, amazing, and transformational teaching experience that offered profound insights and collaborative spirit. I believe that's Vanessa. And the last one, you'll probably see why I like that one. And there are others like this one. And this, to me, is the most heartwarming and rewarding as a teacher to see. The course has been fantastic. I've learned so many new ways of teaching, but above all, the main idea that I'll keep in mind when I teach is to engage students and make them enjoy what they are learning. You know, we have many teachers that already got that and were maybe doing it, but I'm telling you, and this is so exciting. I mean, really, I get like teary even just thinking about this, is teachers that, you know, realize, you know, I'm not really doing that, and I could, you know, and I can. And that's what it's all about. You know, that to me, that's what it's all about. When you look at how much more is learned, how many more objectives you can achieve with your students when they are enjoying it and having fun. And that idea of having fun, enjoying is, is so dynamic, right? There's so many different ways to do this, and that's what a lot of teachers learn through the presenters and what they do, and even more from one another. So, I believe, yeah, we just have the links here, which are kind of useless because you can't click on them. So let me just, I gave you I'm just going to give it to you again, this one, and 2 blogs. This is if you want to check out the, about course page. And then 2 blogs of Sylvia's, one on WizIQ that I suggest checking out, and one on her own blog, ESL Brain. I'll give you that one too, or Sylvia's English Online, ESL Brain. And I want 15 minutes of questions. I would love that. I've been looking at the chat box, but not so much. I want to make sure we have time. So I'll look real carefully. You're very welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming, checking this out. It was a little hard thinking about how to prepare it because there's so many more things, believe me, I want to say, which is why I'm stopping here. Thanks, everyone. Any questions? And if your question is, where do I turn in my post assignment, or Jace, is it okay if I turn it in one day late or something? Let's not do those kind of questions right now. Yeah, who's calling? You know who's calling? Is stupid marketing people, salespeople. So, yeah, I should probably turn off the phone, but in case it's my wife in Paris, I should answer it. Thanks for being here, Rosanna. Gordana is here. Thanks for calling. Viviana, can you join the next classes? We are going to do another MOOC. Turgai, you missed a lot of fun, but you're going to come back. We're going to do it again. This is not ending. Not only that, Sina, I know that question. I haven't responded to your email. I'm sorry. I will. When is the next one? Good question. So the best way to do it, let me say, this might change, but I'm thinking November. I'm going to help Nelly with a MOOC in September, October, or October especially. And September is actually, we're going to be continuing through September because we're going to have, we have 1 week now to finish the assignments, and then a week of presenting. And the week after presenting, I'm sure we'll be discussing those presentations. So we're talking about this MOOC going into September. So I think what will happen with our November MOOC is we'll go into the beginning of December, and then around the middle of December when the holidays come for many people, we'll be done with that one. So that's the idea. There will be some changes, the things that you liked about it, and I'm pretty clear on what worked and what people like. So we'll keep all the great stuff. We'll just make it better and better. Nelly is going to help again, I'm sure. She'll want to. She's got a lot of things she's doing too, MOOC-wise. So she's the leader of a lot of things. Sylvia is going to be working very closely with me. Maria, Ines, MAP, anybody. Crystal can help. Crystal, good. So anyone who was presenting, facilitating, who's like, wow, I want to be more involved. You're done. You're in. Any presenter that wants to come back, you can present again. But we'll also have different presenters, some of whom are more focused on the next topic. Would you like to know what the next topic is? I think somebody they wrote there. Oh, when we you receive the certificate. Wait a second for that, because I'm sort of going into making sure I know you have you did four assignments, which is a little crazy because of the hundreds of them. But just making sure, then giving feedback. But before we give feedback on those, and it will be brief feedback because it's a lot of people's stuff. But and that's partly what we'll do during the presentation is catching up. The certificate, I need to talk to Nelly. We're going to talk about everything about how we're designing it. So we're still doing that. I don't know exactly when you'll get it, but you will get it definitely before the next move. Probably in September at some time. The next topic. How did you know it was pronunciation? Who leaks that information, Rosanna? Or Hosanna? Who told you that? It is pronunciation. It makes sense. Pronunciation or grammar, going back and forth. Grammar is so close to vocabulary. If you don't think so, then you need to check out my materials more. No. Wanted to do something really important, almost as important or more important than vocabulary. So yes, it will be pronunciation. Of course, pronunciation brings in, vocabulary learning, grammar. How can you really learn grammar and learn vocabulary without focusing on pronunciation? And what is pronunciation if it's not with high frequency vocabulary? You're not going to sit there or grammar. You're not going to sit there and learn pronunciation of low frequency vocabulary, or stupid rhymes that words people don't say just to practice the sound. So one thing that Sylvia mentioned, I won't give away the title she proposed, which I think we'll probably go with. It's really good. But let's say the focus will be on authentic pronunciation. And what does authentic pronunciation mean these days? It certainly does not mean only British or American or Australian or something. It's the international pronunciation, and that doesn't mean not standard, but it means what we really need, right? is to look at reality and look at what are the most important issues in pronunciation that everyone needs to teach our kids, to teach adults. So we're going to have a lot of debate, I'm sure, about IPA and different things, but it'll be really interesting. And I have some excellent people for this one. So some of the presenters you saw could do bang-up pronunciation presentation. Some of them may not be interested. I have a couple people. Let's just say they are very well known in the field, especially on YouTube. To come do that, you might want to, if you want to take a guess, maybe if you know some of the people that I've been working with lately who do pronunciation. So pretty good guess, Gordana. So I'm not going to make promises, even though I have promises from certain people they'll do it. But if we're talking about November, we'll see. Also, have to a really exciting surprise coming up that is official about something Rachel from Rachel's English and I will be doing in New York City. And it's something in November, which will be broadcast around the world. So that's exciting. I haven't told that to anyone. I'm saying it here. More details about that coming. But that should fall on a date during the move. So, yeah. Any other questions? And we especially video, using iPads, things like that. We will do, learning English through the arts. We will do, what else? How about some suggestions? What are some other topics in English language teaching? Yes, Nur Muhammad, I remember, I think, emailed me about iPads. Grammar by stories. Yes, storytelling. Certainly when we do grammar, we can do a storytelling, pragmatics, all the different stuffs about functional English, situational English, parents and student behaviors, classroom management type issues. That could be also with online teaching. We could do some, things about, physical classrooms or on the ground, culture. Definitely technology, and that's where Dr. Nelly is going to be our godsend. Disabled learners, interesting. I just became a follower of someone on Twitter who teaches ESL to non-hearing deaf students with sign language. Yeah, great ideas here. Yeah, special needs. So, I've got a list that's really long, and the idea is just to keep going, right? It never has to stop. And if you want to join the next one and you were in this one, you're going to find that there's not going to be much interruption between. And if you didn't join, you can come in to the next one. You don't have to obviously have done the first one. And most important to stress to you, and we have some participants here, and I hope they will support me here and back me up. It doesn't matter what your schedule is. It doesn't matter how much time you have. And that's not just the online nature of this. Some MOOCs are overwhelming with the assignments and people drop out because they feel stressed. They can't do it. This one, if you do it a little bit, you will get stuff out of it. And you won't feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Or you won't feel that way, right? You got 13 classes, 4 of them you need to do, right? And, someone wrote, well, what if we do more? Do we get any special certificate or something? I don't want to do it that way. You do more, you don't need some special certificate. You do more, you get more, right? You have if you have that option, right, to have the time. Some people just don't, right? It's not, you don't have to pay for this MOOC, but you're also not making money from being here either. So, we've got to be out there, supporting ourselves and our families. And, if you didn't do that much on this MOOC, do more on the next one. Maybe this was summer. Sometimes, summer's not a good time. Sometimes it's the only time. So maybe if we do one in November, you're going to be too busy. But anyway, the other thing is that to the disbelief of a lot of participants, because MOOCs are new, say, well, what if I want to go get the courseware later? How can I get access? It's like, well, you're in ELT Techniques. You're a MOOC participant. It's there forever. You go back and print it again. Watch it again. It's always there. It's in the cloud. It's there for you. So that is a really important thing. It's not like have to find the photocopy handouts that you got from TESOLs and where did I put those? It's always there. And, in my opinion, this is better than TESOL. It's like TESOL all year, right? Because everybody can come, not just the people who have money to go to TESOL, not just the people who have the time or live somewhere where they can go. So, and TESOL will do that. Are you kidding me? Mark my words. Maybe they'll wait till, 10 people attend the conference, but I don't think it'll take that. I think, we're going to see much more online collaboration and conferences and things. It's just going to be exciting. Really exciting. Couple more minutes of questions here. Hi, Tom. Glad to see you here. Thank you, Safa. And anybody who's in this MOOC, this is the first one we did. You are all leaders. If you did this, you are leading the way. We're doing it together. So I'm honored when I get these messages about, you did a good job leading it. But this is a huge, it's a cliche to say, well, it took everybody's helping to. But I mean, when you're talking about online learning that works, it is dependent on great connectivity and engaging conversation and chat. It has to be. If not, it doesn't work. So thank you to all of you who did that. I'm really glad so many of you came today. If you didn't come and you're just here to hear about MOOCs, I am not a MOOC expert. I'm not a I'm not a course designer so much as I wanted to, bring what I love to do to more people, and especially seeing what's already happening on Facebook, just in a setting where we can offer more feedback and collaborate more. Much more collaboration in the next one. Some of the reason we didn't do a lot of that was we were finding our way in just how to do the MOOC in general. So the presentations will be the first example of this, where we can collaborate, come in, not just the presenters, but other people getting in to use the platform, use WizIQ. The virtual classrooms in WizIQ, it's just phenomenal. And sometimes there are little tech problems, but overall, right? This is an amazing space, and we're going to show. Not show that. Teachers who've been in our classes know we're going to get them in, get the webcams on, get the audio on, and so they can do it too. And it doesn't have to be something big and they're doing. Just get a taste of it, and we'll be there to help you do that. Yeah. Much love to all of you. Is Dr. Nell? Yeah, Dr. Nell, come in here because I want to see you before we leave.
Thank you. You see me. You don't see me. Now you see me. Now you don't. Anyways, I'm here. Can I take a photo? Yeah, that's true. I've been busy and I've been getting lost on my way from Paraguay. It took me over 40 hours. The planes kept breaking up. Planes just kept,
There are worse places in the world to be stuck than Brazil, and I'm sure it was interesting, people watching and culture absorbing.
It was fun. But this MOOC
coming back
was
in
hard.
That is a hard thing. It's hard. I can see why. But hey. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jace. This was recorded for YouTube. This is August 25, 2013.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jace.
So much respect to all of you.
Everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much.